A game that I'm really excited about, guys, is Wasteland 3. This is a franchise that I really have no familiarity with. I haven't played any of the other Wasteland games, but when I started watching the official trailers for this game back in 2019, I was starting to get pretty excited and very intrigued by not only this game, but the franchise in general. So in this last segment of the show, I want to talk about everything that we know so far about Wasteland 3. So let's talk about it. In an article that was written by Samuel Hortsey of PC Gamer, given how long fans had to wait for a sequel to 1988 RPG Wasteland and how good that sequel was when it finally arrived, Wasteland 3 has a lot to live up to. Its 2016 crowdfunding campaign raised more than $3 million, and in 2018, developer In Exile was bought by Microsoft, giving the team even more firepower to make a deep, system-driven RPG. From the footage and screenshots we've seen, including a new trailer at E3 2019, it looks more ambitious and polished than Wasteland 2. An isometric squad-based RPG set in a post-apocalyptic ice-cold Colorado. Expect lots of dialogue, tactical turn-based combat, and a story that sees warring factions battle for control of the region. Its story is a direct sequel to 2014's Wasteland 2. So here's what I would recommend, guys. I'm planning on playing Wasteland 2 before Wasteland 3 because here's the thing, it's a direct sequel, so I definitely want to try the second one. I'd actually like to go back to the first game and play all of them, but this game is everything that certainly it seems very ambitious. Kind of reminds me of like Metro Exodus kind of style. What I will say is that I absolutely hate the cold weather. It's something in real life, guys, I can't stand the cold weather. A post-apocalyptic ice-cold Colorado, that's going to put me in a very unnerving setting playing this game. And that's the kind of thing that I like to try out. And it definitely is something that I think looks really good graphically and even story-wise, guys. Now, as far as the release date is concerned, Wasteland 3 will be out on August 28, 2020. It's been delayed a few times, first expected sometime in 2019 and then in May of 2020. The original release window 2019 was a bit too ambitious for In Exile, which says that it's only able to hit a spring launch because it's been able to hire more staff thanks to support from new parent company Microsoft. So here's the thing, guys. It's scheduled for August 28th, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they had to push this back some more because of the pandemic. They kind of want to give it enough time to market the game, so on and so forth. Now, as far as Wasteland 3's backer beta, it began on March 17th, and then they have given us a lot of trailers as well, guys, which is really cool. I love the trailers that we saw at Gamescom, where we saw some stuff over at E3, of course. Saw a lot of content, and that is why I'm pretty excited about it. I was able to kind of take in some of that content and really see what this game is all about, and that kind of really gets me to want to play the other Wasteland games as well. Pre-orders are $33, so how much will this game cost? But the retail price will be higher. We don't know how much it will cost, but In Exile has previously said the estimated retail price is $50. So what I will say is this. Most likely, guys, this is going to become a Microsoft or Xbox exclusive somewhat. It's hard to say if it's definitely going to be exclusive to Xbox, but because Microsoft bought In Exile, it'll probably go out on the Xbox Game Pass. So if you're an Xbox Game Pass user, you'll be able to have a chance at playing this for just that subscription. Now that Microsoft has bought In Exile, will Wasteland 3 still release on Steam? Yes, according to the latest information In Exile has given, the game's Fig page says it will release on Steam, GOG, and possibly other distribution platforms. The Fig FAQ also says it will be available in Steam Early Access. Now, you might argue that's old information likely written before the Microsoft deal. However, in a December blog post, In Exile said it would be keeping all of our Wasteland 3 commitments. Pulling the Steam plans would be a major U-turn. So, I think that's cool, guys. I think that probably if there's future Wasteland games, it will probably be exclusive to Microsoft at this point because they bought In Exile. But I'm excited. I think this could be a really special game, honestly, especially with the backing of Microsoft. In Exile has what they need at their fingertips to be able to continue this franchise and make it even bigger and better, it sounds like. And that leads us to the premise. So following the events of Wasteland 2, the Desert Rangers were left without a proper base of operations. They received a call from the Patriarch of Colorado Springs, essentially the ruler of the region, asking them to help him stop his nation from falling apart. In return, he promised the Rangers all the resources they'd need to rebuild. As the story unfolds, you'll be building your reputation, siding with various factions, and exploring this strange land while saving or destroying locations through the decisions you make. Oh, and In Exile has teased that one of the Rangers from Wasteland 2 is returning, but isn't telling us who just yet. So this is going to be one of those games, guys, where it seems like you're going to make decisions once again. Even though I'm not one of those, a huge fan of like the decisions and stuff, something like this might be kind of interesting because it's a post-apocalyptic world, maybe kind of vibes of like Fallout, similar kind of vibes, I think, is what we might get with this. It's hard to say. We'll have to kind of wait as we get closer to the release. So what can we expect from the setting? Expect a large world with two major hubs. The first, the city of Colorado Springs, will be the largest location in Wasteland 3. The second is your ranger base, which will act as a quest hub. At the start of the game, the base will be empty, and you'll have to recruit new rangers from the local population. In Exile says you won't be micromanaging your base, but it will change over the time based on your actions and decisions. It will also be the backdrop for lots of quests, events, and ethical dilemmas. And I think this is really an interesting concept. Sounds kind of like where you'll be able to go ahead and actually recruit people like in the real world to like your quest hub. And I wonder how that's going to maybe tie into the story. And a lot of your decisions you're making as well is going to, of course, dictate what kind of happens in the story, I'm assuming. And so that's something that's really interesting. The quest hub is something very interesting for this game. Kind of reminds me of what Ubisoft is doing with Watch Dogs Legion. So how do multiplayer campaigns work? For the first time in the series, Wasteland 3 will introduce multiplayer, and you'll be able to play through the main campaign with a friend in two-player co-op. The campaign will continue even if only one player is online, so you can drop in and out anytime you want. But there will be a small number of set points in the story that will only trigger if both players are in-game. If one player abandons the playthrough, then it's not a big deal. You can convert the save to a single-player campaign if you like. As an example, In Exile describes a scenario in which one player makes a deal with a gang of smugglers, keeping their trade routes clear in return for a cut of the profits. It would be possible for one player's party to make the deal, not tell the other player, and thus that player would receive compensation in return. Meanwhile, the second player might independently choose to attack the smugglers for the good of the people of Colorado, not knowing of the prior deal, and that would lead to a similar consequence where the smugglers end up at Ranger HQ asking hard questions. Intriguing stuff. So, very interesting. I mean, this is a very interesting thing. What I'm going to say, all in all, guys, I'm super excited about this because Wasteland 3 is a full package. Not only, guys, we talk about this all the time on the YouTube channel. Not only is it going to be a campaign, a single-player experience, it's also going to be a co-op experience that you can have those, go through the story with your friends if you'd like, or part of the story with your friends if you'd like. And it's a multiplayer experience. So you're getting a full package deal, and there's a good chance that you're not even going to have to pay $60 for it. It's not going to be like a normal AAA title, even though it's kind of being put together like it's a AAA title. Absolutely awesome. As far as the reworked dialogue system is based on the one used in Torment Tides of Numenera. Essentially, dialogue sequences are branching with potential lines of inquiry, opening up or shutting down based on your responses. Some options will only appear if your characters have certain skills. So this is interesting, guys. I don't really know a lot about this because I just haven't really been able to play the other Wasteland games, so I don't have much of an opinion on as far as the dialogue being, revamped and such. And then as far as vehicles go, Wasteland 3 introduces vehicles for the first time in the series, and you'll be able to drive them about the world and use them to store supplies. Their mounted weapons, as you can see, will come in useful during combat. You'll be able to take cover behind vehicles too. And now, how will combat differ from Wasteland 2. It looks like it will be largely the same as in Wasteland 2, turn-based combat in which you spend action points during your turn, directing your squad to take cover or attack the enemy. The big addition for Wasteland 3 are team focus abilities, which give your rangers tactical skills that affect your whole squad or weaken all your opponents. I mean, guys, this all sounds really good to me. It sounds like a really cool tactical-based game, and I'm excited for it. Like, seriously, when I read this and you start to kind of really start diving into like the different trailers that have come out, obviously, guys, we're gonna have to wait and see until the game comes out. But this gets me to want to play the other Wasteland games, and I'm sure it's probably getting a lot of you guys excited as well, because it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty special game, in my opinion. Along with developing the third game in the series, inXile is also remastering the original Wasteland, though it looks like it might be overhauling enough to call it an entire remake. It's coming out in early 2020. So, guys, all in all, this is all really great. I'm very excited for this game. I'm very excited that it's a full package deal. I'm intrigued by it as well. Some of the different, kind of not only the combat mechanics, but also just some of the things that you can do within the world, some of the dialogue and the choices that you can make, recruiting people to your quest hub. All that stuff is really interesting to me and intriguing, and I think it could really turn out to be a pretty special game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Wasteland 3. Are you a fan of this franchise? Have you played it quite a bit as far as just the franchise in general? Let us know what you guys think about it in the comment section below, and what would be the biggest things that you're looking forward to in Wasteland 3. And for more Wasteland 3 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.